Vampire the Masquerade, Night Road. You let the shock of Julian Sim's return fade. Then you check your knockoff Panera as you take it off at 6:20 a.m. You secure the door, drop the deadbolt, and strip out of your leather jacket. You don't even have time for a shower, so you just unroll the sleeping bag and make sure your phone is charging. You dream of flying high over the Alps at night, the roar of the single-seater engine in your ears, a silk scarf wrapped around your throat to keep off the cold, although you're already colder than anything else in these skies. Your dream shifts to a huge moon over a city you know so well that no name comes to mind, all turquoise domes and tall towers, black against the midnight sky. And then the same city, except it's only a village, low mud huts, donkeys, children laughing. It's morning. The sun feels hot against your back and bare limbs. Not dreams, memories. And one last memory, one you know isn't yours. You remember forcing your eyes open after years of darkness and looking up at two eager fledglings, one from your own clan, one clan Toreador. You remember watching, frozen, as the Toreador's fangs slide out. You open your eyes for real and check your phone. It's 5:49 p.m. Sunset. Ayla is asleep again. Your fangs are protruding. You shake your head until they go away, though you keep remembering the coating of dust on the elder's throat as you sank your teeth into her. You shower, scraping the last of the filth from out from beneath your fingernails. Then you decide where you're going. You don't want to keep Prince Latal waiting as you make a decision. Your first stop will be St. Basil's. Can kick those bottom feeder vamps around. They've been lax, and the Camarilla needs them better behaved. Sounds like a job where I can check up see what's going on. The migrant camp. NVIDIA call at a research facility. I've been on autopilot for years. St. Basil sounds like a job where I can shake off my lethargy, see what's going on, even make some new contacts. Chapter 4, St. Basil's Hospital, Tucson, Arizona, night of November 6th. You drive the Honda around your parking lot a few times, getting a feel for it as the lights come on all over Tucson. The little black convertible handles great as you cut through the Chevy Silverados and Ford Raptors and head uptown. But that's the only thing you can say about it. Though it's got nice pickup and turns well, the electronics are terminally jacked up, and the loose interior panels are plain as sunrise, evidence of major previous collision. Still, when you push the go pedal, it goes. You spot the Viper nightclub, accelerate hard, and scream to a halt outside the glass-lined VIP entrance. It's still early. Party won't start for hours. But Latau is already awake. You see his eagle, Riga, perched nearby. You sort through your maps and guides, checking nearby hotels and making sure you have a place to stay in Phoenix if you can't make it there and back in one night. A mortal flunky in an Ed Hardy shirt runs up to your Honda with a portable push-button lockbox, like the ones outside Airbnbs. He also gives you a pass so you can get inside St. Basil's as a janitor and says he's in the morgue. You toss the box in your duffel bag, clip the pass to a lanyard, and peel out. As always, you've done your research. St. Basil's Hospital in Phoenix is a crowded, underfunded Catholic hospital that began as a psychiatric facility. It was corrupt even before the canines moved in, with multiple scandals involving patient abuse, embezzlement, and accounting fraud that reached local papers. You've already noted exits, nearby safe houses, good places to park, and several abandoned buildings where you can hide if things go bad. As you drive, you think about Julian. You shut him down this morning. Now you're having second thoughts. You don't trust him, of course, but he might be able to offer you some insight. I am dedicated to making this Camarilla oriented, and it so goes against my instincts. I want to know what Julian's doing. But we're going to see what the ivory tower has to offer. No, I know I can't serve two masters, and the Camarilla have extended an interesting offer. The Camarilla are ruthless and paranoid, but they also represent security and even a little bit of dignity. You keep driving. Traffic is thick that evening, so it takes you almost 2 hours to reach your destination. You turn left at Circle K and have no problem finding a parking spot near a chain link fence. You step back and examine your car, satisfied. You can reach it from multiple directions. Your knockoff watch says 8:05 p.m. I am a very hungry vampire. St. Basil's is a Baroque monstrosity. It looks like an invader from an older and darker city back east. Its bricks are discolored, its windows high and narrow, and one doomed attempt to modernize the structure just makes it look like a prison with a single watchtower of dingy glass and black steel. The palpable sickness of the place fills you with a deep sense of serenity, and you spend several minutes admiring St. Basil's dark magnificence until you remember why you're here. How much humanity do I have? Okay. You watch the main entrance for a few minutes, feeling out the rhythms of the patients and the staff. Then check your gun under the leather jacket and walk around to the emergency entrance. Neon yellow ambulances look like space invaders among the crumbling gray bricks. A few EMTs are outside smoking cigarettes under the no smoking sign. Another entrance is locked and heaped with trash, broken beds and furniture that no one ever got rid of. You don't see any other ways in that aren't locked with mechanical or electronic locks. There aren't a lot of cameras out here. That's good to know. You shoulder your duffel bag, walk into reception, and immediately understand why Latau gave you a pass key. The place is locked down like a liquor store. The reception desk is behind shatterproof plastic, the elevator is locked with a key code, and the main double doors that lead deeper into the hospital aren't just locked, they're watched by a private security guard. The waiting area is full of people slumped in slashed up wooden chairs with orange cushions. It smells like apple juice and bleach. Julian babbling something about how modern statecraft is largely a project of internal colonization. Whatever. You have a key. You swipe yourself through. The light flashes red. So, of course, you try again, because it's an old fashioned magnetic strip card. The light flashes red again. The guard, bright yellow taser on his left hip, Ruger on his right, hasn't looked up from his game of Candy Crush, but one of the receptionists is watching you. Shit. It's your first night working for the Tucson Camarilla, and things have already gone sideways. You can't just stand here running this busted card through again and again, and this isn't the sort of place you can talk your way into. You scan the waiting patients, counting the junkies. There are a lot. Does one of them have bite marks? Some amateur vampire didn't lick the wound clean. Or worse, the kindred here are so thin blood they don't even have that ability. Instead of worrying about that, you focus on finding a way in. There are 3 ways inside from this room. The double doors with the card reader that won't read your card, a staff door that's locked from this side, and you can't exactly pick a lock in front of the guard, and the elevator, which is locked with a keypad. You saw some unattended entrances outside, but all the ones you noticed have mechanical locks. Maybe you missed one. You could search again, although it wouldn't be easy to skulk around outside without drawing attention. Your thirst for blood means you are now in a hunger frenzy and cannot think clearly unless you try to feed or focus your willpower. It would be easier to feed inside St. Basil's, but Phoenix is a major city, and you are permitted to hunt here. You've already done the necessary research, so you don't bother consulting your guides again. There are bars just east of the hospital where a persuasive and charming vampire could find a little romance and a little food. Or if you're not the romantic type, you could head into Superdon Blight and feed on someone who's already asleep. Between the bars and the Blight are empty lots and underpasses full of derelicts you could jump. For something a little more upscale, there's a semi-private function going on at a hotel within a 10-minute drive. Any prey there might also have money, and you could always use more money. Vampires looking for bagged blood are out of luck outside St. Basil's, since everything is run through the hospital. Local kennels and veterinary clinics are closely regulated, but your research indicates the Phoenix Zoo sees occasional use by a local gangrel. Let's go to a party. I lie and bluff my way into the high society party, relying on charisma and dazzling, convincing deceptions. You drive to your destination, the Arizona Biltmore, where a private event is completely enveloped the Catalina pool. You're not sure what's being celebrated, but you scan the crowd of wealthy trendsetters, influencers, and Z-listers. The night is young, but the party is already in full swing, with mid-list German EMD thumping so hard it vibrates the water in the pool. There's a slightly crazy energy to the celebration, and you're sure the front desk will be full of noise complaints by morning. So the idea is basically like Pets.com, but the pets themselves own individual. You sink your fangs into him from behind. He gasps and slumps to his knees. You drink deep. He's a smart guy, whatever his recent troubles. You almost feel ideas sparking and dancing behind your eyes. He's only a little drunk, too. Enough to enhance the elation of your kiss, but not enough to impair you. You take enough to feel wonderful, lick the wound shut, and spend a few minutes just sitting on the bed next to him. He's already fallen asleep. Then you remember the other reason you came here, and so you search him until you find his wallet. He won't take credit cards, but he carries cash. And you find more in the jacket that hangs in the closet. But you can't linger. You have to get back to the hospital. You check yourself in the mirror, scan the room one last time to make sure you've left no evidence. Head back to the Honda, a little skip in your step, and some ideas for a Facebook killer sizzling in your neurons. You return to St. Basil's. I don't know how I am at dexterity. I do have my speed, which will cost me more blood. I look for that will also cost me more blood, potentially. Do have a little bit of technology. Okay. So it looks like this one. Fast talking the guard convinces him an outside researcher needs to get inside. Manipulation, subterfuge, technology. I have a little bit of both of those and a whole lot of manipulation. Potentially could go with the intelligence technology of hacking the elevator. I don't want to use up anything that's going to make me have more blood, which would be the celerity or auspex. So we're just not going that direction. Hey, I have a pass. Let's go, you say, looking visibly frustrated but still professional. The guard's frowns, studies your various lanyard, studies you, and then buzzes you in. You slip through the door. Hey, wait, he says, but you're already gone. Once inside, no one bothers you. The stone walls of St. Basil's are unnaturally cold for the Arizona autumn, like they imported the chill and damp from some 19th century mental hospital in London or Massachusetts. Though painted lines on the linoleum floor are supposed to lead to intensive care, orthopedics, radiology, etc., according to the paper maps on the wall, they have a way of fading out or vanishing, turning near windowless corridors into a labyrinth. Even your meticulous prep work was not enough. Even your sense of empathy, numbed by years of surviving as one of the living dead, can still feel the miasma of sorrow and regret that hangs over St. Basil's. It's ugly, but this is what we have to do to survive. The kindred are awful creatures, and this is what we turn everything we touch into. We better find a way to help everyone. Yeah, I'm not going there. Not for this character. I'm only concerned with violations of Masquerade that might get us in trouble. Do I see any problems? How honest am I? I mean, it's ugly. That's honest. But do I really only care about what might be a problem? It's ugly, but this is what we have to do to survive. Actually, that's not what I'm going to go with. And the reason I'm not going to go with it, even though it might be slightly more true to the character, is that there is a situation later that involves a migrant camp. I cannot play that migrant camp as this character. I will attempt to dodge around it as much as I can, but it's too real to me. So we're going to go with one that gives us a little hedgeroom. I'm only concerned with violations of the Masquerade that might get us in trouble. Do I see any problems? You quickly spot a major problem. There's a stretcher in one hallway that looks like it's been untended for days. Flies swirl as you pull the blanket off the corpse. You see the chew marks on the neck and wrist. You're not Camarilla, but you instinctively recoil at such an obvious violation of the Masquerade. You sympathize with Prince Latau. Someone needs to bring this place back into line. Finally, you find a sign that says morgue, but as you trot down the hall, you hear hushed and panicky voices from a side corridor. St. Basil's is full of quiet, depressed sounds. You know the smell of fresh blood. You poke your head around the corner. We should get a doctor, a thin woman with a thin voice said. Oh shit, his neck. A dying man lies on the desk of a low-ceiling office, blood pumping from wounds on his neck and stomach. On the far side of the painfully thin woman, also helping to hold the dying man down, is a Bruja you recognize as Patermuster. The photo only hinted at something you see clearly in real life. Vampires do not age, but some people are born old, and their spirit keeps aging as their flesh remains immortal. Paternoster should be a good-looking black guy, mid-20s, athletic, short black beard, close-cropped hair. But somehow he looks old, as if there's a bald, fat, tired old man where his shadow should be. Crinkled lines around his eyes and a slowness to his step. Real Paternoster's true age. In real life, he'd be stepping into the grave around now. It's like he knows it. He looks up and his hands, previously holding onto the dying man, slacking. The thin woman squeezes and stumbles backward into a trash can. Shit, he says. You can almost see the vitae cracking through his veins as he prepares to unleash some brouhaha power. Before he can bolt across the office faster than a cheetah and punch your head up, you hold up your duffel bag. Courier, you say. Whatever, Paternoster says as the dying man thrashes. Come here and hold Miguel down. You don't give Miguel good odds. Might as well make a good first impression. I help Paternoster hold the dying man down. If it's so important that you save him, give him some vitae. Just deliver messages. Might as well make a good first impression. If it's so important that you save him, give him some vitae. He's already a ghoul, Paternoster says, shrugging to hold the dying man down, and I couldn't get more blood into the man. Vomit blood and rolls off the desk. He dies, legs kicking on the linoleum floor. You know, Paternoster says, there's no reason to let it go to waste. Paternoster and the thin woman dive on the corpse, draining it in a matter of seconds. When the brouhaha gets up, he dabs at his lips with the dead man's handkerchief and says, You must work for Latau. He mentioned a name. Are you Dimitri? No, he's dead. Kitu, right? I guess you did a better job than Miguel here. He points. He gestures to the withered corpse. Who attacked him? I'd like to know if I'm next. Poor guy. I never met him, but I doubt he deserved that. If this guy was one of yours, Paternoster, and you want me to kill whoever killed him, I'm for hire. I'm just here to drop off a USB. I'm just here to drop off a USB. And I'm just here to run a fucking hospital, but it's never that easy, is it, Kitu? Paternoster says, Whoever killed Mikkel here is gunning for you too, and probably for me and my friends here. So maybe we work together instead of you dropping your shit off and going home. The brouhaha rummages around in the dead man's pockets until he finds a card for the Viper Nub Club with a 4-digit code written on the back. Give me what you brought, he says. You toss him in the lock. He punches the code on the card into the lock and it opens, revealing a USB. Rita May, get all this cleaned up, Paternoster tells the thin woman. Kitu and I need to talk. Paternoster has done everything he can to make his large, low-ceilinged office look impressive. He's cluttered it with a century's worth of executive power idols, from the Art Nouveau furniture and shining mahogany to the mid-century modern lighting fixtures with little chrome clicky balls on the desk. The result is a confused aggranulation of talisman with no consistency or power to impress. I imagine that's supposed to be amalgamation, but Paternoster, currently wearing scrubs so he won't draw attention, settles himself in an Aeron chair behind the desk, so his head is hollowed by a water stain on the concrete wall. The walls are otherwise lined with vintage automobile ads, like in Jay Leno's garage. He opens a laptop and plugs the USB in. He leans back and 2 katanas appear in his hands from nowhere. You blink. It's a trick Sakura's taught me, Paternoster said. These are my friends, Duncan and Connor. In joke much? He swirls the blades through the air. You almost laughed, but shit, he really knows how to handle them. Getting on the wrong side of those blades might be a bad idea. The blades vanish just as suddenly as they appear, and Patermaster turns his attention to what's on his screen. The Brujah takes his time reading whatever Latal sent him. You wait. Finally, he leads forward and says, I know Latal didn't just send you to deliver a letter. You're supposed to see how we're doing here. The Eagle Prince isn't happy with us. Can't imagine what would give you that idea. Can't say I'm impressed either. This place is a masquerade breach waiting to happen. That puts us all in danger. Maybe I could be persuaded to offer Prince Latal a positive review of St. Basil's. I'd feel much better about this place with a little money in my pocket. This place is an abattoir. Even vampires shouldn't behave this way. I could definitely see how this place could be run better, by someone like me. Wheels are turning in my head as I imagine a more efficient St. Basil's. No, I'm not happy with the Eagle Prince. I'm an independent courier, not a Camarilla lapdog. Can't say I'm really impressed either. This place is a masquerade breach waiting to happen. That puts us all in danger. What's going to get worse, Patermaster says. That new director, Corelli, she's spoken with the city about a full renovation. Windows get to. Floor-to-ceiling windows, and worse, a remote administration system. If that happens, half the kindred here are doomed. I don't want that, and neither does Prince Latal. Director Cotrelli's already installed cameras upstairs. Her monitoring station is right down the hall. She fucking knows who I am, not what I am. But what if she figures it out? I wait for Patermaster's offers. Technically, you've already done your job, but maybe this is an opportunity to move into the ivory tower itself. The information Latal sent me is enough to get rid of Director Corelli and return the hospital to my direct control. There won't be any renovations, any threats to my people, or to Latal's base of power. I need help. My people, they're alright, but look, they're fucking worthless when it comes to this kind of work. I'm gonna need help getting this information onto Director's computer so we can make sure she's stopped. And of course, I'm willing to pay. $1,000 once it's done. Plus, there will always be a place for you here. It's not much, but a vault and a morgue is better than a morning in the park, you know. Are you in? $1,000? I need to ignore my hunger and persuade him to cough up more cash, but then yeah, I'll help. I'll help? But you need to clean up your act before the camera will realize how bad this place is. I'll work to stop the expansion, but I'm not working for you. I call the shots. I want to prove my value right away by having a look at this monitoring station. Fine, I'll help. I won't even make demands, just offer my service. I'm just a courier. Do I have any intimidation? I have no intimidation. And I don't know what the other one would be. Because there's some kind of stat here, but it's messed up. This may be a mistake, but inventory. Relationships. Really would love to know what that other stat is. I'll help. But you need to clean up your act before the camera will realize how bad this place is. A lock gazes with Patermaster. He needs to understand how much trouble he's in. I'm doing what I can, Patermaster snaps. After a brief and acrimonious argument, the Bruja throws up his hands. Fine, fine. He slumps back into his chair and rubs his temple. You're right, and Latau is right. They're lower than dogs, and I need to keep them in line. I'll deal with it. He swallows and glares at you, and you know that whatever Patermaster will have to do to deal with it, he partially blames you. He's going to be difficult to work with going forward. The black rotary phone on Patermaster's desk rings. Hello? What? Well, the blood can't be everywhere. That's as he said. Okay. Fine. 5 minutes. No. Sissy Spacek. No. You're thinking of Rosemary Spacek. No. Carrie had a prom scene with all the pigs. Yes, it was Sissy Spacek, I'm sure. That much just. Jeez. Okay, hold on. 5 minutes. Hangs up. I need to go deal with a thing, he says. He opens an Art Deco bureau in black lacquer and brushed aluminum, pulls out a stack of scrubs, sizes you up for a second, then tosses you a pair, rummages around in a bin until he finds a lanyard with a picture that looks kind of like you. Wear these and no one will pay attention to you. You're in the top left. Top left? The lanyard has an aluminum key attached to it. In the morgue. Don't worry. It's not cold, no sunlight, and everyone down there works for me, so you're safe. Get a feel for the place. Director Corelli's office is guarded even at night, so I'm going to need you to look for a way in. Once you're ready, we'll sneak inside and plant this incriminating evidence on our computer. Right now, I need to go deal with something. Show yourself out.